Welcome back to the Poorly Educated podcast, Today in the News, where we take all the chaos of America, dump it in a crock pot, stir it with a stick we found behind the Dollar General, and try to serve it up like it makes sense. Spoiler alert, it does not. Today's news is so spicy it made my cousin Earl break out into hives, which is impressive because he once ate expired gas station sushi and didn't blink. So buckle up. Segment 1, The Constitutional Crisis Rodeo. Now listen, America woke up this morning in what scholars call a constitutional crisis, and what folks back home in my holler call Tuesday. Senator Mark Kelly, who used to fly spaceships and now apparently needs one to escape the Pentagon, is being investigated by the Department of Defense for telling troops not to follow illegal orders, which is literally what the rulebook says. It's like getting arrested for reading the instructions on a microwave burrito. The president hollers sedition and death penalty like he's auctioning off punishments at a county fair. Meanwhile, the FBI is interviewing lawmakers like it's a high-stakes episode of Cops, Capitol Hill edition. I swear, if they start chasing people down the rotunda, I'm buying popcorn. Kelly says he ain't backing down, which is brave or insane or both. Kinda like riding a mechanical bull after 3 Bud Lights and a questionable life direction. Segment 2. Operation Southern Spear and the Narco Navy. Let's mosey over to the open seas, where the United States has apparently entered its R-matey era. Except instead of pirates, we're blowing up drug boats like it's a redneck 4th of July. The Pentagon's been running Operation Southern Spear, which sounds like a WWE finishing move. They've hit 22 boats and killed over 80 people, which is a lot of fireworks for a drug interdiction. And the legal theory behind all this is something called collective self-defense, which near as I can tell is just fancy lawyer talk, for we did it on purpose and hope nobody checks the math. They say drug boats are military engines of war. Buddy, I have seen drug boats. They are barely engines afloat. And now Mexico's like, y'all good luck finding survivors because after 96 hours they packed up and went home. When Mexico's like, nah, we're done, you know you've goofed. The United Nations is yelling illegal. The White House is yelling necessary. And America's yelling, hey. Can someone explain this to me like I'm 5, or at least like I'm my cousin Cletus, who tops out at 4.5 on good days? Segment 3. Redistricting Wars, Texas versus California in a cage match. Now let's talk about the new American pastime. It used to be baseball, then football, then screaming on Facebook, and now it's mid-decade redistricting, which is government gerrymandering with the enthusiasm of a Black Friday sale. Texas passed a brand new map to snag 5 extra Republican seats. A court blocked it. Justice Alito swooped in like a referee wearing cowboy boots and reinstated the map temporarily. Meanwhile, California saw Texas's nonsense and said, "Hold my ethically sourced kombucha." They passed Proposition 50 with a big ol' 64% yes vote, basically turning their independent redistricting commission into a decorative houseplant and letting Democrats draw 5 new blue districts to cancel out Texas. So now both sides are cheating, but only in a way that they each insist is morally justified, which is exactly how my uncle justified stacking Uno cards during family game night. Kansas, Indiana, Maryland, everybody's arguing. Nobody wants to be first, nobody wants to be last, and the whole country's acting like we're splitting the check at a Waffle House. It's chaos. Delicious, weird, deeply American chaos. Segment 4. Ukraine Peace Plan or Pawnshop Bargain. Let's wander over to Eastern Europe, where the Ukraine peace process is about as stable as a 3-legged chicken on a trampoline. A leaked transcript showed Trump's special envoy telling Putin's top aide exactly how to flatter the president, like he was coaching him for a school play. Then he just casually mentions, yeah, you can probably get Donetsk in this deal. Maybe some land swapping too, like we're trading Pokemon cards instead of real territory. The 28-point peace plan gives Crimea and Luhansk to Russia, freezes the lines, and bars Ukraine from NATO forever. Ukrainian leaders are like, wow, thanks for the betrayal, and Congress is yelling fire this envoy. But the White House is insisting this is normal. Buddy, normal ain't the word I'd use. Normal is mowing your yard. Normal is yelling at your cousin for stealing your Wi-Fi. Normal is not giving away chunks of sovereign nations like it's a clearance table. If they toss in a free toaster, we'll know it's really official. Segment 5. Japan, China, Taiwan, and the butting heads bonanza. In the Indo-Pacific, things are hotter than my grandma's chili, and that woman put habaneros in everything. Japan's new Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi just dropped a bombshell by saying a Chinese attack on Taiwan is an existential threat to Japan, which is diplomatic talk for fightin' words. China responded by yelling red line louder than my Aunt Patty yells at her ex-husband Dave during Thanksgiving dinner. They're banning seafood imports, canceling meetings, threatening defeat, the usual menu of geopolitical tantrums. Meanwhile, Trump's on the phone with both Xi and Takaichi, trying to smooth things over by telling each of them they're his best friend. This is like watching a high schooler attempt to date two people at once. You can keep it up for a minute, but eventually somebody sees you at Applebee's and it all goes sideways. Segment 6. Tariffs, trade, and Chinese stuff we pretend we don't need. Back in America, the USTR extended tariff exemptions for 178 Chinese goods, which is political speak for we kinda need that stuff. Please don't make our economy sad. These products include things we absolutely depend on, like industrial equipment, EV batteries, and semiconductors, which are the little chips that make your phone smarter than half the dudes in my family. So even while the administration is yelling tough on China, they're also whispering, yeah, but we still need your parts. It's like when you swear you're done with your ex, but still borrow their Netflix password. Segment 7. Deregulation Palooza and the Great Soot Showdown. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin said, hey, remember that soot rule that would save 4,500 lives a year? Let's throw that bad boy out. They literally asked a court to vacate their own rule. That's like baking a pie, taking one bite, and blaming the pie for tasting like sadness. They want to return to the 2012 standard because the new one is too expensive, even though soot goes in your lungs, and your lungs famously do not enjoy soot. This fits right into the broader Trump environmental strategy, which is best summarized as drill it, burn it, roll coal on it, and ask questions later. If the country starts coughing in unison during the national anthem, don't be shocked. Segment 8. The economy does jumping jacks. Markets are up because investors think the Fed might cut rates. Mortgage rates dropped to a 3-year low at 5.99%, which means people can now afford houses that aren't made out of shipping containers. Eli Lilly has become the first trillion-dollar healthcare company, thanks to weight loss drugs that are so popular even my cousin Billy, who once declared salad to be an act of government oppression, is asking about them. Micron stock is soaring because AI needs memory chips, and Amazon bounced back because apparently AI tried to tank it, but AWS said not today, buddy. I don't understand everything about the economy, but I do know that every time one of these companies hits $1 trillion, the universe sends me a bill for something. Segment 9. Viral teen injuries and the one-tooth plague. Teens are injuring themselves with internet challenges like the blackout and Benadryl things, and emergency rooms are tired. One law firm said we have a viral injury epidemic, and honestly, they might be right. I saw the one-tooth trend go viral where kids distort their faces to look like they got a single giant tooth. Back in my day, you only looked like you had one tooth because you lost the other 6 in a four-wheeler accident. These kids are working too hard. Just eat mud like we did. Segment 10. Norovirus, storms, tornadoes, and travel doom. Norovirus is surging like your stomach after a sketchy burrito. Over 150 outbreaks already, and Thanksgiving hasn't hit full force. Meanwhile, a huge storm is sweeping across the country, dumping snow, rain, and chaos. Chicago and Detroit are getting slammed with snow and 50-mile-per-hour winds. Houston got tornadoes with 115-mile-an-hour winds. Folks are still patching roofs while basting turkeys. This is peak American determination. We will eat this holiday meal even if the table is in the neighbor's yard. Segment 11. The Culture Buffet. Trump pardoned Gobble and Waddle, 2 turkeys who now live lives better than half the folks on my street. Meanwhile, USA Today named Bahi Hut in Sarasota one of the top dive bars in the country. I haven't been, but any place that serves strong drinks in a 1950s tiki shack is my kind of establishment. If they got karaoke, I'm moving in. Segment 12. Sports, bull riders, broken quarterbacks, and new leagues. Tampa Bay's Baker Mayfield sprained his shoulder, which means the Buccaneers' offense is about to look like a yard sale in slow motion. The Nashville Predators play tonight. The Hershey Bears are facing the Penguins, and West Virginia lost its PBR Velocity Tour stop, which is a crime against rodeo-loving humanity. In women's sports, the Project B International Basketball League is launching in 2026, with Sophie Cunningham joining the roster. Finally, the New England Revolution youth squads had mixed results. But hey, it's soccer in America. We take what we can get. In conclusion, America is out here juggling constitutional crises, naval explosions, gerrymandering knife fights, environmental reversals, international peace deals that ain't peaceful, storm systems that hate travel, stock markets that get high on interest rate rumors, and teenagers who think poisoning themselves is fun. It is chaotic, it is exhausting, and it is absolutely the most American thing I have ever seen. Until next time, stay poorly educated, stay confused, and stay entertained.